It's been another thrilling year on the European Tour. We've seen 40 different winners of 46 events as the Tour has touched down in 30 countries on 4 continents. Ahead of this week's season finale in Dubai, commentators closest to the Tour have been selecting their favourite players from another action-packed season.
I think if I had to pick a player of the season, it would have to be Francesco Molinari. Partly for what he did at the Ryder Cup, winning 5 points from 5 and teaming up so well with Tommy Fleetwood for the Mollywood story. And obviously winning the Open Championship, first Italian to win a major championship. And the way he did it as well, on such a tough course at Carnoustie, with so much pressure, with all those great players around him, with the likes of McEvoy, with the likes of Tiger charging for a while there on Sunday as well. And just the composure that he managed to have to finish off that tournament was just absolutely outstanding, and the highlight of the year, almost certainly.
I called it. They asked me, I played Kingsbarn on Sunday, and Hamish, my caddy, asked me, he says, who do you like winning? I said, Francesco. He'd been playing great. You could kind of see the guys trending. You know, he won a couple weeks earlier in America, and so I looked at the, you know, Jordan was leading. I was looking at the top 5 or 6 names. I said, he's got a great shot at winning the tournament. And then it was awesome to see Tiger get in the lead, and I thought maybe he might pull it out there for a while, but Francesco he was steady, didn't make a bogey on Sunday. It's pretty amazing in a major championship.
Tommy Fleetwood, it's not just that he could still win the race to Dubai again, it's the fact that on the back of last year, where it was such a monumental achievement for Tommy to so quickly become the sort of guy, because to win on tour twice or 3 times even is amazing in a season. But to win the Order of Merit, I mean, you have to have been good all year long. You have to have played well in the major championships, because you can't get to the sort of numbers it takes to win it without playing well in the big events. And he became that guy. And then this year, he's almost that guy again, which I think tells you so much about who he is, where his game is, and just how good Tommy Fleetwood is. So for me, he's the standout guy outside of Francesco this season.
Justin Rose's year this year was phenomenal. To win the FedEx Cup, to get to world #1. I used to live very close to North Hants in Fleet, where he played. And I remember seeing this kid on the range and people going, that's Justin Rose. I said, who? And they said, well, he's going to be a really good player. And everyone just went, yeah, because we see that all the time. But they made a good prediction in the respect that he went to world #1. He's a major champion. He's a Olympic gold medalist. Justin Rose is the English Rose. He's just phenomenal. And you know what? He's actually quite a nice guy as well.
There's been so many of them. You know, you get to this point of the season and you sort of look down the list of winners and everybody's produced something special. Eddie Pepperell winning in Qatar and the British Masters. You know, we've been waiting for Eddie to show us that sort of form on a regular basis. And he's done it. You know, he's elevated himself to a different level. Shubhankar Sharma, you know, he was a new name to us. Won the Joburg Open and won it in style. We were unbelievably impressed, and then went out and won in Malaysia.
Wonderful performance from Shubhankar Sharma, and the young Indian star could well be on his way to his 2nd victory inside the space of a couple of months.
You know, he's barely out of school, and the guy's got 2 wins under his belt on the European Tour, 2 nice tournaments, so we're going to see a lot of him too.
Russell Knox winning the Irish Open in the fashion that he won that tournament, when he held a 40-foot putt to earn himself a place in the playoff, and then from almost the identical position broke Ryan Fox's heart.
It's looking good again, it's looking good again. Oh, he's done it! I don't believe it! It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
It was just phenomenal. I don't think anyone expected it. It was one of those moments you very rarely get, and it was just a crowning moment. But also at that tournament, Russell had a bit of trouble with his throwing arm. He had an apple core which he wanted to get rid of, and he meant to throw it to the side of the green, and he actually ended up not releasing it early enough. It went over his shoulder and nearly hit one of his playing opponents who had a bit of a shock, which was a lovely moment. That was one of the comedy moments on tour this season. I really enjoyed that.
The one that stands out for me would be Richard McEvoy. And I think it's cool because of the fact that he's been there so long without winning. And if I'm honest, he's a friend of mine. We've known each other since the Walker Cup in 2001. So we grew up playing golf together, and you sort of lose belief that he's going to win one. You just think, you know, I hope he does well, makes a few quid from it. But he obviously had beliefs that it could be different. And, you know, I think to do that it's a harder thing to believe in yourself with that sort of achievement than it is for someone who's, for instance, like Tommy, who knows he's a great golfer. Will he win a US Open? It's a big shout, you know, but it's possible because he's a great player. Richard McEvoy had to overcome more doubting thoughts than that.
You know, I set up to the ball as I hit it on the right line, great pace. It was just tracking halfway there, and then all of a sudden it kind of went into a bit of a blur and almost turned into slow-mo. And after that point, you know, then the noise erupted when the ball went in, and I just almost in shock that actually I hold it almost really. But it was an incredible feeling, and one that, you know, not that many people would maybe get to feel really. If I'd made par on 17 and had to 2-putt on that hole instead and make 5 instead of 4, I don't think it would have been amazing to win, don't get me wrong, but I think I wouldn't have had the same feeling as what I had holding that putt. It's something you work on for years and years. As a kid, you dream about holding putts like that to win golf tournaments.
He's a guy that's been out there, hasn't always gone to plan, he's battled with his game, he's hung in there though, which I think is amazing, and his perseverance paid off.
The one that stands out as the most a surprising thing is Oliver Fisher this year. Oliver Fisher going down to Portugal, having a mediocre year, and being such a fine young player, to shoot 59, the first player ever to do it on the European Tour. I was in the States watching it on television, I was absolutely glued to it. And for him to do that, to hold that putt on 16 for a par, to keep it going, because he must have been aware that he was going to shoot 59.
So here it is. Since 1972, the European Tour has been all around the world. Some of the greatest players have played in tournaments on the European Tour. No one has ever done this. History has been made. Ollie Fisher, the 30-year-old Londoner, at last can smile. At last, it's the magical, seemingly unattainable number. It's a 59.
For me, the shot of the season, there's so many great ones, and actually the tournament I'm going to talk about, there were lots of great ones that would stand out in that, most of them by the same player as well. Matt Wallace, made in Denmark, feeling in his mind like he needed to win the tournament to make the Ryder Cup team. Of course, that didn't come to fruition, but he believed that, so that shows you where the pressure was. And then the shots he hit, not just to the way he closed out his round, birdieing 5 of the last 6, but then in the playoff as well. Stephen Brown, who's had a great season, hits one in like this on the first extra hole, and he knows he has to hit it. He has to make 3 again, and he hits it in 7 or 8 feet behind the hole, holds the putt. I just thought, I found that mesmerising. I mean, the guy's won 3 times on tour this year. He's got a big heart.
Wallace is a winner again. 3 victories this season, 4 times on the European Tour in the last 15-16 months. And he has given Thomas Bjorn the selection problem that he promised to give him at the start of the week.
Yeah, I think my emotions came out. I think you saw me, my hat came off. I was just like, I was close to tears, to be fair, just relief. I think it's the most relieved I've ever felt. And it was special, it was proper special.
But he's still learning the ropes, he's a young player, and to deliver under that sort of pressure when you think it's going to get you in the Ryder Cup team, I thought was mind-blowing. That's the very highest quality. I don't care if it's Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson or Justin Rose. What Matt Wallace delivered there, it doesn't get any better than that.